Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Hollister, Assistant Superintendent of the Chaffey Joint Union High School District. The show band and tonight's sponsor, the Holton family, that's my boss, are proud to present an evening on Broadway. Tonight, we're delighted to feature guest artists Sheila Ruff, Brian Detweiler, and Mary Stone. Show band musicians Chris McAleer and Isaac Gonzalez, and guest conductor Dr. Jorge Garcia, and the outstanding musicians, of course, of the show band.
Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Petrocelli, Director of Community Relations for the Chaffey District and Dr. Petrocelli's boss. Before we begin our concert, Dr. Hollister and I would like to share with you a short history of Broadway musical theater. Broadway refers to a location found in the theater district located in Manhattan in New York City. The theater in New York first became popular in 1750. By the middle of the 19th century, Shakespeare's plays became the common production of Broadway. The first long-run musical on Broadway was the 1857 production of The Elves, which ran for 50 shows. The Black Crook debuted on September 12, 1866, and is considered to be the first piece of theater that set the stage for the modern musical. The show ran for 5.5 hours and had a record-breaking 474 performances. A Trip to Chinatown premiered in 1891 and ran for a total of 657 performances. But not until 1919 was this record surpassed with the musical Irene. Lighten was the first show on Broadway to ever reach 1,000 performances, and it was the longest-running Broadway show before it was surpassed by Abby's Irish Rose in 1925.
Musicals of the 20s borrowed from vaudeville, musical hall, and other entertainment types, which ignored the plot, but instead emphasized actors and actresses, dance routines, and popular songs. Florence Ziegfeld produced song and dance reviews on Broadway that featured extravagant and elaborate sets and costumes. Beginning in the 1920s, many productions such as Funny Face, Harlem, Sally, the Gershwin Brothers' Lady Be Good, and others were designed to be lighthearted. When Showboat premiered at the Ziegfeld Theater on December 27, 1927, it left behind the frivolous shows from earlier decades. The musical had a book and a score, and was made up of dramatic themes told through music and dialogue, along with the setting and the movement. And it ran for a total of 572 performances. Most pundits consider Showboat to be the first modern Broadway musical. Broadway theater entered the golden age when Oklahoma premiered in 1943. The blockbuster musical ran for a total of 2,212 performances and was the first of many successful musicals penned by Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Today, the longest-running show on Broadway is Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera, which opened in 1988. On February 11, 2012, it became the first Broadway musical to surpass 10,000 performances, and by November 2016, the musical had been performed over 12,000 times in 28 years. There have been a multitude of successful and memorable musicals and melodies throughout the colorful history of Broadway theater. As you would expect, the show band is only able to select a small cross-section of these hits. Tonight's repertoire contains music from 11 notable Broadway musicals. We hope that we have included one of your favorites in our collection.
We begin the concert tonight with an exciting medley of hit songs from Oklahoma. This Rodgers and Hammerstein musical was set in Oklahoma's Native American territory in 1906, and it tells the story of a young farm girl and her courtship by two suitors. And now let's give a welcoming round of applause for the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band and our maestro, director Dr. Gabe Petrocelli.
Sheila Ruff is our first guest artist. She has had a lifetime of singing all across the USA. She worked as a vocalist for the Tony Barrasso Orchestra, the Bill Black Combo, and Mont Bleu Orchestra at the Boca Raton Hotel and Dunes Hotel in Las Vegas. Also, she sung with Roy Orbison and Elvis Presley, to name a few, and always looks forward to singing with the show band. Sheila is going to sing two memorable songs from Funny Girl, a 1963 musical based loosely on the life and career of Broadway star Fanny Brice and her stormy relationship with entrepreneur and gambler Nick Arnstein. The first selection is titled People. Please give a warm show band welcome to guest artist Sheila Ruff.
People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. We're children needing other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children. Lovers are very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you were half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. One very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you were half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs peace.
And now we're privileged to hear Sheila's next song from Funny Girl, I'm the Greatest Star.
listen. I've got 36 expressions, sweet as pie to tough as leather. And that's 6 expressions more than all the Barrymores put together. Instead of just licking me, why don't they give me a lift? I think it's a plot, 'cause they're scared that I've got such a gift. Well, I'm miffed, 'cause I'm the greatest star. I am by far, but no one knows it. Wait, they're gonna hear a voice, a silver flute, they'll cheer each tune. Yay, she's terrific when I expose it. Now can't you see to look at me that I'm a natural Camille? As Camille I just feel I've so much to offer. Kid, I know I'd be divine because I'm a natural cougher. Some got it, not a lump. I'm a great big clump of talent. Laugh! They'll bend in half. Did you ever hear the story about the traveling salesman? 1,000 jokes. Stick around for the jokes. 1,000 faces. I reiterate, when you're gifted, then you're gifted. These are facts. I got no axe to grind. Hey, what are they blind? In all of the world so far, I'm the greatest star. Who is a pip with pizzazz? Who is all ginger and jazz? Who is as glamorous as? Who's an American beauty rose with 10 American beauty toes and 1 American beauty nose? Eyes on the target and wham! 1 shot, 1 gunshot, and bam! Hey, Dr. Petrocelli, here I am. I'm the greatest star. I am by far, but no one knows it. That's why I was born. I'll blow my horn till someone blows it. I'll light up like a light, right up like a light. I'll flick it and flare up. Oh, the world's gonna stare up. Looking down, you'll never see me. Try the sky, 'cause that'll be me. I can make 'em sigh. I can make 'em cry. Someday they'll clamor for my drama. Have you guessed yet who's the best yet? If you ain't, I'll tell you one more time. You bet your last dime. In all of the world so far, I'm the greatest star.
The next selections come from a musical whose theme was inspired by William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. The music for one of my favorites, West Side Story, was composed by Leonard Bernstein with lyrics by Stephen Sondheim. The production opened on Broadway in 1957 and ran for 732 performances before it went on tour. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next guest artist of the evening, who will sing two popular hits from this musical. The first song is titled Maria. Please join me in welcoming our good friend, Brian Detweiler.
Hey, Maria, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. Maria, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria.
Dr. Petrocelli, we're all wondering whether you're loyal to the Sharks or the Jets. And now from West Side Story, Brian will sing Tonight.
Tonight won't be just any night. Tonight there will be no morning star. Tonight, I'll see my love tonight, and for her stars will stop where they are. Today the minutes seem like hours, the hours go so slowly, and still the sky is light. Oh, moon, grow bright and make this endless day, endless night tonight. Today the minutes seem like hours, the hours go so slowly, and still the sky is light. Oh, moon, grow bright and make this endless day, endless night tonight, 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 tonight.
Our next selections are from a famous musical that is set in 1905 imperialist Russia. The story centers on Tevye, a dairyman, and his 5 daughters as he tries to maintain the traditional values and culture with those of his strong-willed daughters. It is my pleasure to introduce show band musician and vocalist Isaac Gonzalez as he sings If I Were a Rich Man from Fiddler on the Roof.
If I were a rich man, dum. All day long I'd biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Dum. If I were a bitty rich, diddle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There would be one long staircase just going up and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each loud quack and a gee and a gah and a goo would land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, dum, all day long I'd biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty rich, idle digger, idle man. I see my wife, my Goldie, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Oi, what a happy mood she's in! Screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town will come and fawn on me. They would ask me to advise them, like Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reptavia, pardon me, Reptavia, posing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. Hadoi, dai, dai, hadoi, dai, dai, dai. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. Maybe have a seat by the eastern wall, and I'd discuss the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man?
It's my pleasure to introduce our guest conductor, Dr. Jorge Garcia. Dr. Garcia is the assistant conductor of the Pomona Concert Band, an accomplished musician, composer, educator, and guest lecturer. Let's give him a warm round of applause as he conducts Isaac, Chrissy, and the show band in Sunrise, Sunset.
Is this the little girl I carry? Is this the little boy at play?
I don't remember getting older. When did they?
When did she get to be a beauty? When did he grow to be so tall?
Wasn't it yesterday when they were small?
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years, one season following another, laden with happiness and tears. Now is the little boy a bridegroom? Now is the little girl a bride? Under the canopy I see them side by side. Place the gold ring around her finger. Share the sweet wine and break the glass. Soon the full circle will have come to pass. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years, one season following another, laden with happiness and tears.
The show band's next selection was composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber as the title song for his musical Starlight Express. The musical tells the story of a young but obsolete steam engine named Rusty who races in a championship against modern engines in hopes of impressing a lady passenger. It's interesting to know that the actors performed the entire musical on roller skates. This special arrangement was written by Dr. Garcia and features Isaac and guest soprano vocalist Mary Stone. Please give them a warm show band round of applause as they perform Starlight Express.
We want to make sure Mary gets the accolades for her singing since she was left off the program. So, thank you. And I gotta say, this show, you probably won't know any of the songs, but this was on roller skates they did this. I mean, think about that for a minute. And like I said, I mean, and there was a dilemma. Do you teach singers to skate, or do you teach skaters to sing? And and it's going to surprise you, they came out, the easiest part was teaching skaters to sing. So anyhow, fun show. I think it's still being produced at the Hilton Hotel in Las Vegas. If you got grandkids, go see it. Okay. There you go. Get your mic back.
Starlight Express, Starlight Express,
are you real? Yes or no? Starlight Express, answer me yes. I don't want you to go.
It's time I choose between the two of them. I better make a start. Someone help me make up my heart. Tell me how to make up my heart. One of them is strong, one of them is good. Both could turn out wrong, so who gets the part? Make up my mind, make up my heart. Someone help me make up my heart. Tell me how to make up my heart. Someone help me make up my heart.
Only you have the power to move me, and as one we make the whole world work in sympathy. Stop the rain and quell the tide.
Only you have the power to move me. Take me, hold me, mold me, change me and improve me. Stop the rain and quell the tide. Only
You are the starlight.
have the power to move me.
Together
In 1913, British writer George Bernard Shaw wrote a stage play about a poor Cockney flower seller named Eliza Doolittle. Henry Higgins, an arrogant phonetics professor, overhears her and wagers that he can teach Eliza proper English and then present her to high society. 50 years later, the story was adapted into a musical entitled My Fair Lady. The 1964 production was an instant hit. One of the many famous melodies from the musical was On the Street Where You Live. To sing this memorable song is our talented concertmaster, Chris McAleer. The show band will be under the direction of assistant director, Pat Arnold. Let's give Chris and Pat a rousing round of applause.
I have often walked on this street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, just because I'm on the street where you live. See the lilac trees in the heart of town. Can there be a lark in any other part of town? Does contentment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling just to know somehow you are near. That overpowering feeling that someday soon there may be a chance you will appear. People stop and stare, that won't bother me, 'cause there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be found on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling just to know somehow you are near. That overpowering feeling that there's a chance that sometime soon you may appear. People stop and stare, that won't bother me, 'cause there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be found on the street where you live. Thank you. P.T. Young. And of course, arranged by Dr. Gabe.
Sheila returns to center stage to perform one of the hit songs from the musical, A Chorus Line. The music was written by Marvin Hamlish with lyrics by Edward Keblin. The plot centers on 17 Broadway dancers who are auditioning for spots on a chorus line. Let's have a round of applause for Sheila as she sings What I Did for Love.
kiss today goodbye. The sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you. And I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always and I won't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Gone, love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me towards tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for what I did for love, what I did for love.
Fame is a stage musical that premiered in 1988 and tells the story of several students who audition for and attend the High School for the Performing Arts in New York City. One of the hit songs from the musical was Out Here on My Own. Maybe if we give her a nice warm round of applause, Sheila will perform that for us.
Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? We make believing is hard alone out here on my own. We're always proving who we are, always reaching for that shining star to guide me far, to guide me home out here on my own. And when I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me be me need you. Sometimes I wonder, the morning appears, and I dry all my tears. I dry the tears I've never shown out here on my own. And when I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me need you. Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? I may not win, but I can't be strong out here on my own. On my own.
Brian Detweiler returns to center stage to sing a song from the 1961 musical Stop the World, I Want to Get Off, written by Leslie Brickus and Anthony Newley. The show is set against a circus backdrop and focuses on Little Chap from the moment of his birth until his death. Each time something unsatisfactory happens, he calls out, "Stop the world," and addresses the audience, hence the title of the musical. Let's give Brian a nice round of applause as he sings, "What Kind of Fool Am I?"
What kind of fool am I who never fell in love? It seems that I'm the only one that I have been thinking of. What kind of man is this? An empty shell, a lonely cell in which an empty heart must dwell. What kind of lips are these that light with every kiss, that whispered empty words of love that left me alone like this? Why can't I fall in love like any other man? And maybe then I'll know what kind of fool I am. do I know of life? Why can't I cast away the mask of play and live my life? Why can't I fall in love till I don't give a damn? And maybe then I'll know what kind of fool I am.
The Music Man, a musical written by Meredith Willson, opened on Broadway in 1957. The plot concerns conman Harold Hill, who poses as a boys' band organizer and leader and sells band instruments and uniforms to naive Midwestern townsfolk, promising to train the members of the new band. But Harold is no musician, and he plans to skip town without giving any music lessons at all. The librarian and piano teacher Marion sees right through him, but when Harold helps her younger brother overcome his lisps and social awkwardness, Marion begins to fall in love with him. Near the conclusion, Marion urges Harold to lead the River City Boys Band in Beethoven's Minuet in G. Despite the boys' limited musical ability, the parents in the audience are nonetheless enraptured by the sight of their children playing music. Even skeptical Mayor Shin is won over, and as the townspeople cheer, Harold is released into Marion's arms. Oh my God, this is going to be good. Let's have a hearty round of applause for the talented musicians of the show band as they play highlights from The Music Man.
Well, how'd you like the first half of the show? I got a whole bunch of notes here. I really fall apart if Gary's not up here, but he's taking the night off. He's here, but he's taking the night off. I want to extend my appreciation to these outstanding musicians. Give them the greatest show band in all the land. There are several dozen people that take credit for putting these programs on, and because of time, I'm not going to mention, but they know they all have my love, and we could not do these productions without their assistance. So all the support staff, bless you all. Thank you. Tonight, I'm going to do something I've never done, and that's announce the VIPs, because I don't know any VIPs. Only Gary does. So I've got a bunch of paper here, but I'm going to start with a special gentleman who came here from the Disney Company. This gentleman was my student back in the 70s at Emerson Junior High School. Give Bob Weiss and his beautiful wife a nice round of applause. If all my students were like Bob, I'd still be teaching. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. He has a very good position with the Disney Corporation, so I must have done something right. We have some very important people here. The esteemed director, conductor of the Southland Symphony Orchestra and Chorus, Dr. Sylvia Mann. Sylvia, thank you for taking the time coming this evening. She does a marvelous job, and please, if you get an opportunity, go to her concerts. They're wonderful. Jim Milheiser, Ontario City Treasurer and Treasurer of the Friends of the Show Band. Jim. And Mike Milheiser, Director of Monte Vista Water District. Mike, nice to have you. David Ortega from the Cucamonga School District. David, thank you. Thank you for being here. Margaret Hamilton, who's a board member with the Chino Basin Water Conservation District. Thank you for being here. And through the benevolence of the Holton family, the patriarch, Dr. Matt Holton. Thank you, Matt, for supporting our show tonight. Matt is the superintendent of this district. Dr. Chris Hollister, our deputy superintendent and distinguished and entertaining narrator. And as you heard before, my supervisor, Susan Petrocelli. One of our Diamond Baton people who comes to almost all of our concerts, if not all of them, Richard Ortiz. Where are you, Richard? Thank you for being here tonight. And then the beautiful wife of the man who's the reason why I'm up here, Jane Mercer. If it wasn't for Jack, I'd still be selling hot dogs on the street. Thank you, Jane. And now I'd like to introduce Al Bowling, our Deputy City Manager and also Vice President of the Board. He's going to make a special presentation.
Thank you, Gabe. For all of you who have attended this concert as well as previous concerts this series, have you enjoyed the free coffee? Well, on behalf of the Friends Board, the show band, and all these people, I would like to thank Starbucks store number 11746, which is located at Holton Vineyard. So if you're out and about in our town, please visit them. In appreciation for your support and sponsorship of the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band for the 2018-19 concert series, thank you, Natasha. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Please be sure to frequent her Starbucks shop. She's over there on Vineyard. Is it South Vineyard? North Vineyard, right across from the DoubleTree. So I'll finish up here with introducing our outstanding soloists, our concertmaster, Chris McAleer. Chris, wonderful musician. Isaac Gonzalez. Mary Stone. Come on out, Mary. My good friend, Dr. George Garcia. George. And our two friends, you've seen them on numerous occasions. Brian Detweiler. And the beautiful Sheila Ruff. Thank you very much for your outstanding work. I appreciate it very much. You added a lot of class to our performance. Thank you. Most of all, I want to thank all of you for coming, spending your evening with me and the show band. And I think it's time for us to, I hope you've enjoyed the show. And it's time for us to close up.
So on behalf of the Good Doctor, the New Jersey Maestro, the East Orange Orchestrator, and the Right Coast ringleader, Dr. Gabriel Petrocelli, and the entire show band family, and my lovely co-host, Ms. Susan Petrocelli, I want to thank you all for attending our evening, and we hope that you enjoy an evening on Broadway.
We look forward to seeing all of you on the 4th of July at the band shell in the Ontario Town Square following the parade, and hopefully again on Wednesday, August 14th at 7 p.m. for a special summer concert that will also be held at the band shell. We conclude this evening's performance with a medley of beautiful melodies from the Rodgers and Hammerstein 1959 hit musical, The Sound of Music. The narrative is based on the memoir of Maria von Trapp, the story of the Trapp family singers. Set in Austria on the eve of the Anschluss in 1938, the musical tells the story of Maria, who takes a job as a governess to a large family while she decides whether or not to become a nun. She falls in love with the children and eventually their widowed father, Captain von Trapp. He is ordered to accept a commission in the German Navy, but he opposes the Nazis. He and Maria then decide on a plan to flee Austria with the children. Let's hear it for the outstanding musicians of the show band and The Sound of Music.
Thank you. One last item I forgot to mention, and my boss here, I'll get in big trouble with Arlene. The Hungry Tuba is under the weather and is not here this evening. He called and said that he'll be here next time. So you'll see a white box with a bow on it. If you want to feed the Hungry Tuba, feed that little box and we'll give it to the tuba. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Please have a good evening and drive home safely.